Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have Djibouti celebrate the International Day of Widow. For the international sin assassinations of two high Ethiopian responsible. Welcome to our newsroom. The budget minister Abdul Karim Aden Sher continues his tour of making contact in different departments or directions under his department. These times the ministers of budget went to the direction of taxes, of which is called Hotel des Impôts, in the company of his close collaborator. Upon his arrival, the minister was greeted by the general managers of the tax, Said Gele Darar. Then he received a guard of honors formed by staffs of the Hotel of Taxes of Djibouti, which reserved to him a warm welcome. Subsequently, under the explanations of the director, the minister began his visit to the general directions of taxes. Afterward, the minister extended his visit to the different services that the tax office comprises. The Minister of Budget, Abdul Karim Aden Shah, moved to the Directorate of Treasury and Public Accounting. Upon his arrival, the minister was greeted by the general managers of Treasury. Subsequently, under the explanations of the director, the minister to begin his visit to the general direction. Then the minister extended his visit to the different services that the National Treasury. The various officials gave the necessary explanations to the minister, and the minister took note of the explanations given to him. Let's point out the direction of Treasury and Public Accounting. Its main mission is to pay the expenses and collect the receipt of the state budget, of budget account and the special account of the Treasury. They to keep the general account and to justify the operations recorded or supported in its services. The various deputy directors gave the necessary explanation to the Minister of Budget, Abdul Karim Aden Sher. So the minister took a good account of the officials who were provided with him. The Minister of Economy and Finance, Ilyas Musa Dawale, has received this morning in his office Dr. Sunil Shukla, Director of the Institute of Entrepreneurship Development of India, and Mr. Sanja Pal, Senior Member of the Faculty of Discussion focused on ways to improve the entrepreneurship centers and create a partnership with the institute. There was also talk of expanding the centers, including building and setting up a language laboratory, specifically business English and others, working to private sector, and above all, creating a partnership with the banks of the place. The meeting was attended by Djibouti's ambassador to India, the minister's close associate. The International Widow Day was celebrated this morning at UNFD. The aim was to educate, inform, and raise awareness about the issue of widowhood. It also seeks to help those affected by widowhood, widows, widow, orphan. Widows are suffering in Africa and need to be better cared for. They are still numerous to undergo traditional rape and tortures following the death of their husband. Women are their main tormentors. It is not uncommon that they are even driven out of their homes and deprived of their husband's property. Poor, therefore more vulnerable, some are even killed or raped. The ceremony was organized by the Ministry of Women and Family in close collaboration with the UNDP and was attended by Ms. Moumina Ahmed Hassan, the Minister of Women and Family. For her part, the Ministers of Women and Family, Moumina Ahmed Hassan, thanked all the participants. She indicated that they have put in place little programs for widow who has to make benefit with their little enterprises, she said. We have little magazines concerning Djibouti celebrate 42nd anniversaries of Independence Day this week. It is known that Djiboutian women have been at forefront of the scene during the long struggles for independence to pay tribute to all those who have endured this hard fight. We will evoke in these magazines of writing the actions of the Ministry of Women and Family for the benefit of rural women. Under the auspices of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, the Djiboutian Federations of Underwater Sports and Rescue organized a day of detections of the young talent for the qualification to the Championship of World Swimming with funds, which will be held in Egypt from July 28th to August 4th by the World Confederations of Underwater Activity, which 25 boys and 7 girls, 12 agents of the Coast Guard, 2 agents of the Republican Guard, and 7 of the city of Djibouti, 3 of the interior regions named Tura and Oboha. The president of the Djiboutian Federations of Underwater Sport and Rescue, Mr. Ibrahim Abdo, thanked the Secretary of State for Youth for his unwavering support, as well as Colonel of the Coast Guard, first partners of the Federation, finally the organizers of this day. In the framework of the festivities of the 42nd anniversaries of independence, the region of Dekhel, the region of Unit, closing this week within the complex of the city of Unit sports activity, organized under the auspices of the association OJED, organizations of young elites from Dekhel. The different teams have clashed in several disciplines such as handball, volleyball, and petanque. The competitions were held in a good atmosphere, imprinting with fair play. The finalist teams will be rewarded and trophy will be awarded to the night of 27 June's anniversaries of the day independence. During the final competition, the president of the regional council, Abdurrahman Yunis Ari, the president of the association, Mr. Ibrahim Awali Hosh, as well as the members of the association OJED. In Oboha, there was a ceremony of materials discount, closings, and solar street lights for vulnerable family in Fantihero neighborhood. This is a gift from the Oboh diaspora in Belgium, received and forwarded by the honorable parliamentarians of the region. Took part in this event the honorable member of parliament Ali Ahmed Hassan, the prefect Hassan Dabale, the president of the regional council, the president of the association is Dadal Afito and the civil society of Djibouti. Distributions took place in the best conditions and in a fair way between the beneficiaries. More than 80 families benefit from solar street lights, used clothes for 200 families, textbooks for school books, furniture for the Fantiheru daycare. The Member of Parliament Ali Ahmed Hassan and local authorities, including the Prefect Hassan Dabali Ahmed, the President of the Regional Council Mohammed Ismail, took part in the ceremony of handing over materials. They all thanked the happy donors. We regret to announce the death of the late Ilyas Ibrahim Yusuf, the eldest son of the Sawiye family. The deceased died as a result of the tragic accident that took place Friday on Siesta Road. He left behind him a widow and 5 children. The deceased worked at EDD. May the Almighty welcomes him in his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. More condolences for the late Jamaluddin Abdul Qadir Redo following the death of the late Jamaluddin Abdul Qadir Redo, which happens on Fridays in Addis Ababa. The messages from condolence are still flowing to the RTD politician and regional culture writers, artists, composer, man, and man of letters. The late Jamaluddin Abdul Qadir Redo was one of the leading figures of the regional intellectual landscape. In a posthumous tribute, President Gelle held the memory of a man of intelligence and consensus. Otherwise, the Sultan of Rahaito, Mr. Abdul Qadir Dawood Mohammed, the Ministers of Presidency, Ali Gelle Abubakar, the Ministers of Transport, Musa Mohammed Ahmed, the Minister of Urbanism and Environment, Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Hilm, the Trade Minister Hassan Muhammad Arbahim, the Ambassador of Djibouti in Moscow, Dr. Muhammad Ali Kamil, the Prefect of Dakhil, Muhammad Sheikh Hassan, the Dean of Djiboutian Artists, Hamadou Dabale, the Obok authorities, who's the Deputy Ali Ahmed Hassan, Kamil Ahmed Ahmed, the Prefect of Obok Hassan Dabil Ahmed, the President of Regional Council Mohammed Ahmed Ismail, that's the Chief of the Villages of Obok. Finally, Mr. Ahmed Dawood Mohammed and Abdul Dawood Mohammed address condolence to the families and close collaborators of the deceased Yusuf Mirgan Barkat Mohammed Utto, known as Captain Saleh Derkala, Dr. Maiki Hassan Yani, Village Chief of Girori, Ahmed Kako, Mohammed Hassan, known as Zidan, even Hawa Mohammed Gura addressed their most saddened condolence to the family of the deceased Jamaluddin Abdul Qadir Redo. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene, Donald Trump sanctions Iran and says he is ready to discuss. Listen to the report.
US President Donald Trump announced this Saturday that he would delay by 2 weeks mass arrests and expulsions of undocumented migrants and operation that was to begin this Sunday in a dozen major American cities such as New York, Chicago, or Miami. In a tweet, Donald Trump said he wanted to let Republicans and Democrats time to find a compromise on migration issues to mark his presidency. The head of Democratic Deputies, Ms. Nancy Pelosi, was praising Donald Trump to back up on his decision, saying that such a measure would inject terror among various communities.
This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.